Welcome to the Simply Luxurious Kitchen, inspired by travels to France, as well as to other delicious excursions around the globe. While going about my everyday life in Bend. Join me as I share seasonal fare to elevate the everyday meal. And most importantly, discover how to enjoy stepping into your kitchen. Let's get started. Welcome to my kitchen. I'm Shannon Abels, and welcome to the Simply Luxurious Kitchen. Today what we're going to make is one of my favorite everyday lunches and dinners to go to when time is short and maybe the budget at the end of the month is running kind of low. These are ingredients you probably are going to have on hand. If not, the ingredients you need are very inexpensive. We're going to make today sweet potato arugula salad topped with pan-fried chicken. So simple, basic ingredients, and as we enter into fall or are in fall, knowing that we can go and get a sweet potato, simple seasonal food to pick up at the market and bring home to use with whatever fresh greens you have available. I've chosen arugula, but you don't have to stick to arugula. So let's get started with the sweet potato because we have to roast that sweet potato, and that's going to take about 35 to 40 minutes. So I'm going to preheat my oven to 400 degrees Fahrenheit, and that's going to heat up while I'm prepping. I'm going to get this out of the way for a second. My sweet potatoes. Now, you may be saying, if you're looking at this root vegetable here and going, that's not a sweet potato, Shannon, but it is. I had a lot of questions about sweet potatoes and yams because when we go to the market here in Oregon, in just the regular grocery stores, they have sweet potatoes, and those are the ones that are a little browner on the outside and they have white on the inside, similar to a potato, but they are sweet potatoes. Then you see these red guys or orange guys or copper guys, whatever you want to call them. And in the store, at least here in Oregon, it says yams. And I'm thinking, I don't think they are, but then again, I'm not an expert. This was a few years ago. Now, there has actually been a cookbook written by an author that formerly worked for Bon Appetit. And she looked into the history of sweet potatoes versus yams. And what she discovered, I'm going to cut this in half as I'm chatting here, is that there is actually no difference between the ones we see in the store, sweet potatoes, and yams. They're actually all sweet potatoes. There are yams out there, but most yams are found in West Africa and the Caribbean. And they're very tuberous looking, and they almost look like a tree trunk. They're really rougher texture. They're dark brown, as you would imagine, on some root vegetables, but they are not these. Why do we call these yams? It's all about marketing, folks, at least according to this writer. What she found out was in the 1930s, Louisiana sweet potato farmers, having their sweet, lovely sweet potatoes with the white flesh, needed something to distinguish those from these guys, the ones with more orange or red inside. And so they called them yams. But this happened in the 1930s and it just stuck. People just kept calling these guys yams, and they're not. So just to let you know. Now, you can absolutely, what I'm doing here, I'm going to slice them so that I can get cubes. That's why I cut the bottoms off, slice them off, so it stabilizes it. You do not, and I prefer not taking the skins off of these guys. I like having that extra texture, but if you want to take the skins off, you absolutely can. Again, flatten it up. Watch your fingers, make sure it's secure. Slice down, we're going to keep those on top. But what you find in the stores is going to be the white sweet potatoes. They will be labeled sweet potatoes. And then you will find these beautiful orange copper looking yams, but they're actually sweet potatoes. And these guys actually originate from California, and they have a very mild sweet taste. The white sweet potatoes have a very lovely sweet taste as well. And there are even ones that have a little darker red orange look to them, and they're also sweet potatoes, even though they may be labeled as yams. So just a little history on the difference between yams and sweet potatoes. I like using these orange ones because of the presentation value, and they taste the same as the white. I've tried both. They do taste the same. Nothing different that's drastic, but I like the look for the presentation. It makes it more appetizing. So it really is just up to you. So I've cut them into about 1/2 inch widths, and what I'm going to do is just run my knife down so I still have a 1/2 inch lengths now. Okay, just keep everything together there, and then I'm just going to cube them, because you want nice little cube pieces, not too large. These are going to be really small bitefuls or mouthfuls, so you want tiny little bits and pieces, because you might get 2, maybe even 3 when you're taking a bite with your salad. Okay, and just catch anything that's fallen off there. Put that onto a parchment lined baking sheet. And you want a large enough baking sheet where they can all spread out and you'll have one even layer. Okay. The same thing to this guy. Watch your fingers. Right. And again, this will serve 2 to 3 people comfortably, 4 people as a nice appetizer or light lunch. But I like to make it for myself, and then I'll have it for dinner one night and then lunch at work the next. Okay, so we're gonna make sure those are all evenly laid out there. Olive oil, about a tablespoon to 2 tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil. You're gonna get your hands in here in a second. Okay, salt, of course, ground sea salt, and some pepper, freshly ground. Mix that up with your hands. It's good moisture for your hands too. Make sure everything gets coated. And you can always do more potatoes than this. Obviously some potatoes are going to be large, small. It's really up to you. Ooh, I forgot my towel. Now these are going to go into the 400-degree oven for 20 minutes, and then you'll get halfway through. When that 20-minute mark goes off, you're going to flip them over, kind of toss them about, make sure all the sides are getting cooked evenly, and then put it back in for 15 to 20 minutes more until they're perfectly roasted. Okay, while that's cooking or roasting, we're going to make our chicken. Now, you can absolutely just make this salad with the arugula and the sweet potatoes, put the dressing on that we'll make, and it is fantastic as a side salad. But I like to make it as a meal because it's simpler, it's easier for me to make for the next day, and often I do have some leftover roasted chicken in the refrigerator. If I don't, I'll obviously pan fry it right now. But it makes for a full meal with your protein and your greens and your starch. So, with a little sweetness from that sweet potato. So I'm just going to use what I have left over in the kitchen. I have 3 chicken tenders, and I'm going to first tenderize them. Okay. Which sounds fancy, but it's so simple. Take some wax paper. I'm going to put this on top here. Okay. Now take the soft side of the mallet. You're not going to beat it to death, but you want it to shrink about half the thickness that it is. So about, I'd say 1/8 of an inch, maybe a little larger than 1/8 of an inch, maybe 1/4 to 1/8 of an inch. But just make it so it's just flattened out. Perfect. See, you're not smashing it, you're being gentle with it. So as you can see, fairly thin, and that will make a lot of difference in how the ease of slicing, because we're going to slice it up, but it'll be very tenderized, so tender for the bite. Okay, the pan just needs to be at medium heat. We're going to put olive oil in that pan. And while we're waiting for the pan to heat up, let's season the chicken on both sides, but this side you just do here, and then the second side you'll do what's in the pan. So salt, coarse ground sea salt on both sides. If you like any other seasoning, go for it. You could also bread these up if that's what you prefer to. It really is up to you. I think you'll find that with a little bit of salt and pepper, good salt, and a little bit of olive oil, it will have just enough flavor to work really well with any salad. And this salad especially will come with its own vinaigrette, or actually salad dressing that we'll make, and it already has enough flavor. So we'll wait for that pan to heat up, and then we'll pan fry these. All right, while we're waiting for the pan to heat up, we're gonna make the salad dressing because it can be made ahead of time and sit and wait until we're ready to toss the greens. So what you're gonna want is 1 lemon. You're gonna want some really good mayonnaise. So find the best you can find, or make your own. And then you're gonna need some Parmesan cheese, Parmigiano Reggiano. That's it, 3 things. So we're gonna take the mayonnaise. We're gonna take about 1/8 to 1/4 of a cup. Just put it right in there. I just eyeball it. Then we're gonna take, I'm gonna put this here for a second, your lemon. And you know what, I always say if you're gonna juice a lemon, you're obviously wanting a lemon flavor in whatever you're making, you might as well zest it too. So if the recipe doesn't call for zesting, do that on your own and put some zest right into where you're gonna want that lemon flavor. No reason to waste it, and it's really hard to zest once you cut it and juiced it. So get all the zest on there that you want. And then you're gonna want 2 tablespoons. The easiest way to do this is take a fork. We can move this back up here now. Take a fork and just go right inside. Boom! All that juice comes right out. You're catching any seeds because your eyes are looking at it, your hand's right there. This one actually did not have any seeds. That was fantastic. There's a lot of pith though, I want to get that out of there. And it usually takes about 1/2 lemon. So we have 1/2 lemon and mayo and the zest. And now, using that same zester, we want 2 tablespoons. So 2 tablespoons of lemon juice, 2 tablespoons of Parmigiano Reggiano. Just put it right in there. Boom, yes. This is gonna add a little of that salty flavor that you want in there. Perfect. Now I have a little whisk, and I'm just going to mix it up. It is not gonna be anything fancy, and you might wanna put a little more lemon juice in here once you see the thickness of the mixture. In fact, I am. I'm gonna add a little bit more. Ooh, that pan's hot. We're coming for you, hang on. So I'm just gonna mix that up, get everything incorporated. And this would go into the fridge while you're waiting. We're just gonna set it aside for now, and I'll get that in the fridge in a second. This pan's ready for the chicken. So, chicken goes in. Season the side down, because you're gonna season the second side while it's cooking, and these do not take that long to cook at all because they've been tenderized and they're far thinner. So I've put in the salt on as well, pepper. Perfect. Maybe about 2 minutes on each side. You'll take them out and you'll let them rest, and you'll slice them up after they've rested. All right, chicken can be flipped. And again, if you have chicken that's already cooked and ready to go in the refrigerator, just waiting for something to be made with it, you don't need to go through this step. So this really is going through your kitchen. So you can put it right there. And see, what do I have? I just need some kind of lettuce. I just need some kind of protein. So if you have any other protein that you want, you can obviously put that in there as well. Getting those potatoes to add a little bit of that starch, making your dressing, and that's all. And if you have a well-stocked rotisserie, you're gonna have your lemons. You're gonna have your Parmigiano Reggiano. You're gonna have your mayonnaise. So that will already be in your house, in your kitchen or your pantry, or what I like to call my rotisserie. And I have a list of 34 items to have in your rotisserie on hand at all times, so you're always ready. Be sure to check those out. It doesn't take but a minute on the second side. I'm telling you, it's so fast and furious. I love it. Turn this off. We're gonna let these rest. You don't want to overcook them because you do want them tender. All right, we're gonna let those rest. Our salad is waiting to be dressed. The dressing is already made. See what happened there? It's all mixed up, lovely and creamy, but you don't need a ton because you don't want it to look like it has dressing. You just want a kiss of dressing on it because that's all you need. But citrus is powerful, and so is that Parmigiano Reggiano. Okay, so we're gonna wait for the potatoes to be done, and we'll dress the salad and have a lovely lunch or dinner. All right, the sweet potatoes have about 3 or 4 more minutes, and since they are in the oven, we are going to prepare the chicken. So the chicken is rested, it's nice and warm, but it's rested, so it's finished cooking. And with regards to the chicken, if you have tenders like this, I like to cut them in a way that helps with the presentation, because you're just gonna put this right on the top of your salad to make it a little more attractive. So, find the grain of the skin, the meat, and you're gonna go against it. So this one's going this way. I wanna go that way at an angle. So here we go. About a ½ inch all the way down, and keep them together because you're going to eventually place them on top. Okay, this one's going that way, so I'm gonna flip it this way so I can go the way that's easier for me. But you notice this knife, you could almost cut this with a butter knife, but it also helps that I have a sharp knife. But it should not be any work at all to go through the kitchen going through the chicken, cutting against the grain. So here we go, same thing. Perfect. And again, if you have more than you need, you can make more salad tomorrow, and the chicken can go in the fridge for the next day. I'm gonna wash my hands, and this will be out in a second. We'll dress everything and enjoy. Sweet potatoes are done, so I'm gonna take those out. You take a look at them. Woohoo! Nice and roasted. They're gonna have some heat to them, meaning they're gonna be warm. They're not spicy by any means. They're gonna be warm. And I like serving this salad warm. I think there's that extra something there. And what we're gonna do with this is put them all. I'm gonna move my chicken for a second. Sorry, chicken, you're in my way. We're actually going to put this with this into this. But first, we need to make some room. So, first things first, you want about, I'd say 3 to 4 cups of arugula or whatever green you're using. These have already been cleaned and dried, okay? So first we're gonna put the chicken, or excuse me, the lettuce right in here on top of the dressing. Okay. We're gonna use this salad bowl, that's why I had it out, okay? Then take your parchment paper. Voila. Now, take those tongs and you're going to toss them all together. You want everything to be dressed. Now you might want to put a bigger bowl, put them in a bigger bowl, but make it work whatever you have. Okay. Everything's getting it. A little bit of white, but not a ton. You're not drenching the salad, but you are adding a lot of that lovely flavor. The lemon, the Parmesan, woohoo! And if it's really good mayonnaise, you're gonna be like, yep, that was a good trifecta combination. Okay, perfect, perfect. All right, now, what I would do is, if you're serving it for a big table, then I would put it all in this salad bowl. But, just to give you an idea. If you're just serving for yourself, I'm gonna show you how to prepare it. So you'll take about a cup and a half. Okay. Make sure you have your sweet potatoes. Then, I'm going to get something else that'll make it easier. A pastry cutter works really well here. You're going to take 1 entire slice of chicken, and you're going to put it right across the top, just like that. It looks presentable, it looks appetizing. We're going to pour some rosé with it, or whatever wine you have. Oops, this one has an interesting top. I can do it. There we go. Whoop. And there you have your dinner. You can absolutely eat this cold. It's lovely warm. Put it in the refrigerator if you have extra. It's completely fine. But do make sure you put it in the refrigerator and enjoy. It is that simple. The longest part about this recipe is the sweet potatoes in the oven, and you can be doing something else while they're cooking. In fact, you can cook these ahead of time so that you don't have to cook them on the day that you want to have them for dinner. So let's enjoy this. Get a little of everything in here, out there. They say not to use a fork and knife when you're eating salad in France, but I say when you have this kind of combination, you need both, and I want to enjoy everything in one bite. Here we go. The sweet potato adds a nice crunch since it's been roasted, so it adds a different type of texture to the salad dressing and to the chicken. Here we go. Let's get one more. I like that. Try some wine. Nice. So as you can see here, simple ingredients, use what you have. It's not that expensive either, and it sure is filling and full for dinner or for lunch. Enjoy your day, enjoy your food, and enjoy stepping into your kitchen. Thanks for joining me today.